Hello there.
Hello there.
How you doing?
Give me a second.
Cool,
Fine.
cool.
I'm ready when
Nice.
you are.
Yes, let's get on to it. So, while we're here and you know what's going on, let's talk about it, I guess.
Okay. Let's dive in. What's new?
Yeah. Not much. Same old, same old. We're hearing all of the news, and we know what we feel about that.
We know
Apparently.
that it's a distraction, and we know that the plan of elites are marching along steadily and surely.
Yeah.
It's only a matter of time before the new world order arises,
Yeah.
and this is what causes WW3. As
Yeah.
soon as WW3 comes, they're able to enact the laws of what they want to do, UN wanted to do. The
Yeah.
UN wants to strip parents away from their kids and have full control over children. And basically, World War III would accomplish that because both parents, male and female, will be in the wars, and who will be taking care of little Timmy? The state. And God, again, and the vast majority of public, I don't think, will wake up and realize that.
It'd only be until it's too late they realize what's been going on, and there's nothing they can do about that.
There's a bunch of Republicans that realize that, but they're not. I don't think they're big enough to realize it for them. I don't think they're big enough to freaking fight it.
Yeah, but even if they do want to, if they say anything,
They'll get
out they
cancelled, they'll
go.
lose their job, they'll lose everything, they'll lose their savings, and they'll basically lose everything. And basically, the government will just take their kids away from them. Hmm.
It's crazy.
Yep.
The best we can do is like spread the message, say what we believe and what we are seeing right now, and then eventually, once we
But the
have,
funny thing is that the vast majority of people don't realize that Israel was founded by the Rothschilds, or some of the I think Rothschild descendants. They basically they funded the creation of the House of Israel. I think the House of the Parliament, basically where they do the parliament, where they do their meetings and they do all the vote on the massive laws for Israel. Rothschilds basically funded the creation of that building. People don't realize it, but the Rothschilds had the basic control in both wars, civil wars, and everything. But nobody talks about that because it's something the public don't know.
yeah, it's a taboo to discuss about it, I guess.
Yep. So what else can we talk about?
Hmm. Well, I mean, may as well, because I've said it in another episode a couple weeks ago. So, what are your updates on learning the languages to spread the message of the you know what, the truth?
There's not much updates on that. I've been focusing on me, trying to make the best of my situation and try and do as best as I can to escape it. If I can't protect myself, I can't protect anybody. But
Fair enough.
uh, everything will go away eventually anyway. Bank accounts
Yeah.
will dissolve. But for now, I may as well profit off the system while it's still around.
Yes. Especially if you have all the investments into every major industry that we ever so rely on.
So, property, real estate, supermarkets, automotive, food and agriculture, pharmaceuticals, insurance, financial banking, airlines, jewelry, fashion, movies, television. People don't realize it, but the entertainment industry is not there to entertain you. It's there to propagate you and propagandize you.
they want to tell you stuff that they want you to believe. Allegedly. Are you there, Risk? I think your mic got cut out. Dang. That is crazy. That's mad. He'll come back eventually. Wait. Wait a minute. He has never come back at any point. I know what this is about. Oh, you're back under a clone, kind of.
I think they kicked me out.
Yeah, I wonder
Said I
why.
disconnected. Said I
Interesting.
disconnected.
Wow.
Yes.
Interesting.
Maybe
And I wonder
playing the
why
fact that
that
the
would
media
be.
is controlled.
Hmm. I guess we're onto something, I guess.
Yes. Either that, I just had bad internet connection.
Yeah. But at least you found a way to get back in, regardless, which is
Yes.
great. Not many people know how to do that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's
Let's
mad.
just put it like this: the media is not there to educate you. Why do you think there's so many Armageddon type movies out there, like dystopian ones where it's a cashless society, or ones where basically where you don't see your people going into supermarkets, and you don't see people buying food, and you don't see people loving each other. You don't see people giving birth. You don't see people actually the education system of kids, where the parent doesn't have any say and it's the state that runs everything.
So, have you heard news about the Ukrainian Orthodox Church?
What you mean the fact that they got banned because of that fucking Nazi?
Well, if that's what you heard, then fair enough. All I've heard is the Ukrainian Orthodox Church has been disbanded, and yeah.
Well, that was something that happened years ago, I think.
Okay.
During the war, basically, they are partly saying there's corruption there. My guess is that this Nazi wanted to freaking get rid of religion and basically make
Oh,
a state where it worships a demon.
yo, what's up? I heard something about religion.
Yeah, he's talked about the fact that Ukraine basically banned the religion of the Orthodox Church, and I basically said, well, he's probably
Yeah.
a Nazi then, because why else would you want to ban religion?
To make a one world,
Yeah,
to make a one world religion. That's why. Duh.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah. That's what they're trying to do.
it's obvious.
It's pretty obvious though. But so they can worship a.
And this was the part that the recording just stopped. Everyone there was kicked off for whatever reason. However, whatever the case, we managed to get back up again and picked up where we left off.
So, want to take a guess what happened there?
They tried to silence you like they tried to silence me.
Uh-huh. It makes you wonder.
We must seriously be talking some truth here.
Yeah.
If they tried to silence us, should we be concerned?
A little bit, yes. But if they are concerned, then you know what?
They might be attempting to, us.
Mm-hmm.
And let me just say this. If we and Jamie disappear, we did not ourselves.
Yes.
Okay.
We didn't unalive ourselves. They don't want us to tell you the truth.
And the truth is that quite honestly, the government, the world's elite want to create a one world government, and the fact they want to create a one world religion.
Yeah.
So I think all three of us got a taste of that they wanted to try and go after us.
Wait, what'd you say, Riz?
I think we all got the treatment that they wanted to go after us because Jamie just got kicked out of the thing and I got kicked out of the space of the thing
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah, maybe they're trying to silence us, you know?
Yeah, they always do. Who knows? But yeah, what should we start off with now?
So, what have we discussed so far?
Well, we talked about the Rothschilds.
And then the Ukrainian Orthodox Church.
Yeah. Maybe they didn't like the fact I called Zelensky a Nazi. Well, he really is.
Yeah,
He
because-
probably is one, to be fair.
Yeah, I don't think the majority of the public would believe that. And given what is going on, it's
Like, what's the well,
Hey, guy-
Jamie,
hey,
he
guy-
fucking
words can't
praised
even
the-
describe.
Him and Trudeau praised a fucking Nazi in the Canadian
Hey, guys.
House.
Hey guys, like, you know, there's an account reported that Bill Gates and her boyfriend broke up. Bill Gates' daughter or whatever, Bill Gates' daughter and her boyfriend broke up. I don't know why Paige reported that, but I'm
Why
like,
would they care? She's not.
I don't know.
Bill, she's not
What's
a
the-
public citizen. She's not a public figure. So why would
What's the-
anybody care?
I don't know. What surprised me is that like her boyfriend was black. I'm like, wow, I didn't really expect that. I don't know why. I just
Pretty
didn't expect
sure.
that.
I don't think this is known, but I'm pretty sure Mark Zuckerberg has ties to, is kind of related to John D. Rockefeller in some way, form, genetics wise and birth wise.
But yeah, I don't
I
know
can't
why
remember
anybody...
who I heard it from, but it wouldn't surprise me if he is, I'm being honest. You know how nepotism is pretty much a thing with the rich.
But yeah, I don't know why, like, you know, that Paige would care if her boyfriend and her broke up. I don't know why.
I don't get why people still like Bill Gates. He's a fucking evil man. But yeah.
I don't get it either. I really don't.
Hey, so what is there? What else do you want to dive into?
Let's see. There's a lot to go along. Oh yeah. Remember the you-know-whats that led us to all being locked up in our houses for like half the year?
Oh yes,
I
that
got
thing, the fact that
I was
people
wondering-
the fact that we know that it was a bioweapon from the Chinese, and the fact that those vaccines, where we pretty much gave ourselves an antibody, gave ourselves an antibody that, quite honestly, whenever some type of government or person or the military decides, they could probably kill us all, basically put a kill switch in all of us. And
Yeah.
all they have to do is put a certain type of chemical in your food, and half the population will be dead.
Oh, speaking of food, I heard that Italy becomes the first nation to ban Bill Gates' fake meat.
Way!
I can't wait to see Hungary do that, and Poland. Maybe not Poland. They became Poland. Maybe not Poland, because Poland.
Well, it's certainly Hungary for sure,
Did you
because
hear that Poland's now been taken over by the fucking Democrats or the left?
oh, that's news
Sweden,
to me.
but there is, on the contrary, Sweden now has a very powerful right-wing government. So you might see Sweden ban them.
Okay, that's interesting.
And if things don't
I mean, it'll
play
be a
out well,
stretch because
we
of
could be under under liberals.
Isn't that exciting news?
What?
Being under liberals.
No. Especially not in the UK, because Starmer would fucking basically hamstring us to the EU like a fucking puppet. We'd be a puppet state if Starmer got in, because he would shove us back into the EU, where we'd have no fucking rights, and we'd basically be a fucking subject to the EU laws, to unelected bureaucrats.
And not to mention, the UK government had to pay hundreds of millions of euros just to be part of it each year. Like,
yes.
what has the
Talk
majority
about
of the EU?
the biggest crime. You get to join the EU, right? But you have to obey them like they're fucking weed cult. Not to mention you'd be interlocking with the fucking WEF. I don't think people realize how much WEF members are actually in the EU.
Yes. And don't get me started on the Canadian Parliament.
Oh, that Nazi. Every time I think of Trudeau, I think of him as a bloody Nazi. Like, how the fuck can you put a fucking glorified Nazi in the fucking house and parade him like some type of fucking war hero? Like, who the fuck thought that was a good idea? He needs to be fucking fired.
Well, since you put it that way, it does seem a bit...
How can you...
Good grief. I can't.
The fact is, I'm pretty sure the Conservatives are yapping it up as well. That's the sad thing. Love or hate Britain, they're not propagating and basically showing off and being proud of our Nazi heritage, of Nazis.
Wow.
Don't get me wrong, I don't ultimately disagree with some of the viewpoints of some of them. Like, to be fair, from what I've seen from the protocols and what I've seen from some of the books and what I've seen and what I've listened to, I can see kind of why he would kind of want to, I'm not saying all of them are bad. I'm saying the very powerful ones, the very powerful rich families. I'm talking about the Rothschilds.
Are we talking about the Hitman?
No, I'm talking about Hitler.
Yeah, no, that's his nickname.
Yeah.
The Hitman.
I can kind of see why. I can kind of see why with some aspects of it. Do I think he went overboard? Yes. I can see why you would want to go after the very powerful Jewish elite. Some of them were probably evil.
Do you think he was the original Red Pill Rager?
Maybe. Who knows?
Not
saying that. I'm saying most of the things that he did was bad, but I don't condone. I can condemn him on everything he did to those ordinary Israelis.
I know what you're trying to say.
I don't exactly disagree with him going after the very powerful Jewish.
I know what you're trying to say. You don't condone everything bad that he's done, but you can see why he was upset.
Yes, I can see why we'd all be upset.
I can see it as well.
About the fact that the literally the central banks are controlled by a very powerful Jewish family.
You hear that?
Not a lie, because it is true.
You hear that, everyone? We don't condone anything he's done to the Jewish people.
Apart from the very rich, powerful Jews. And I mean the ones that controlled the world. I'm talking Rothschilds.
Once again,
that should be very powerful Wall Street Jewish bankers.
I'll be honest, most Jewish
people ones that probably fucking sold everybody out.
Most people would find that racist, but like I feel like Jewish people should find that as a compliment. We're saying like they rule everything.
It's not true. How is it How is it not true? How the fact that some of these people get offended? It's the fucking truth. Who rules the fucking banking sector? It's been known for decades that it's been run by the Jews. What the saying was being, Jews are good with money. It's true. Yeah,
I don't know how that's offensive. I don't really know how that's offensive. If I'm being honest with you.
Then if it's racist, then why the fuck is it that almost all Jewish people were running the banks for the fucking royal families?
I mean, I don't see how saying a specific group of people are good with money. I mean, I can kind of see why it's offensive because they're making jokes about it. But like, bro, if it's true, it's true.
It's true.
Who cares?
Reality. They're also good with financing. They were the ones that freaking... The people don't realize this, and nobody's going to realize it, but the very powerful Jewish bankers were the ones that caused the Great Depression, which were Rothschilds. And the very powerful New York banking families that are private. The thing is, though, the vast majority of people believe, it's all white men that's rich. They're powerful. Not so much.
I mean, they might be white.
They might be very powerful, but
they might be
compared to some of the very powerful banking clans.
I mean, they might be white presenting, but they're not white.
No. They're not even Jews, if you be fair. These people, they're not even Jews. They go around acting like Jews, but they're not Jews.
Well, they claim
to be, but
Mainly because they grew up in a
On the
Jewish family.
bloodline, you question it. On the
Mainly
bloodline,
because
you question
I think mainly because they grew up Jewish, but like that's about it.
it.
I think that's literally why like they're classified as Jewish people because they grew up Jewish, but like do they really follow the religion to the T? I don't know.
I was thinking
Question
it as well.
Yeah, it's like so they can't even really be Jewish if they don't follow the religion to the T.
Yeah.
And
It's
every
like-
time, it's the one race that you can't criticize. You come anti-Semitic, and
So you know what?
anti-Semitic if you criticize them.
How about this? How about we just don't classify them as Jews because they're most likely not.
Israelis. That's what I'll class them as. And you can't, and then they say, but that's racist. You're mean. Do you know who Epstein was working for? Mossad. His Maxwell's father had ties to Mossad. Epstein knew the former president of Israel, and also the head of Israeli intelligence of Mossad.
That's
The Maxwell family has been known for a while to have connections to Israel, the state of Israel. Epstein wasn't really a billionaire on paper. He was a billionaire on paper, but that money was gifted him by Israel to act like a freaking Chinese honeypot, which they used said money to, compromise certain types of people, like former American presidents, former EU commissioners.
I think if Epstein was
former
actually
royal family. Royal families in multiple different countries. So take it Britain.
Now I believe
Sweden, Norway, Japan.
Here's the thing. What Epstein did wasn't necessarily bad if he was actually sending them to jail. It wouldn't have necessarily been that bad.
No.
I mean,
it would have been the biggest it would have been the biggest expose that actually happened.
The only thing I would have honestly changed about that was not putting real minors in that situation.
But remember, he had to maybe act. He had to make it look effective.
I know, but it's like
you've also got to remember that he was nobody. He was a nobody. There's actually a lot of bigger people. There's probably links to him. There's probably more links to Richard Branson.
I'll be honest.
Was Richard Epstein, Branson than there is anything else.
Was Epstein messing with minors too?
I don't think he was. I think he was literally just. I think he was trying to expose. I think at some point that he realized what was going on was probably wrong. He wanted to expose these people. Why else do you think he kept recordings of everybody that went on that island? People are scared about the Prince Andrew and that. Nobody's talking about Charles or Elizabeth or her husband or any of the other British royal family or even the dukes. There's a lot more British royals than you would like to admit. But that's never going to get stated. Let's just say there's probably a British king that's probably been on that island. But
you think?
Does kind of look like the type, doesn't he? And he's had his fair share of criticism with women as well, if I'm being honest. Not just with Diana, but I think with other stuff. If I'm being honest, it wouldn't surprise me if he got a girl pregnant very early on, right? But I'm guessing his mother didn't approve of that, and he basically forced a maid to take the baby or something like that, and basically just paid some woman off. Wouldn't surprise me if you got that much money. You probably could do that.
You said you would. You said if you got enough money risk, you would just buy an island, right?
Yeah, maybe.
I'll be honest. I really wouldn't even know what to do because I think no matter how far I go, I won't
You'd
even
still be tracked.
Pretty much, yeah. So there's really no point. Yeah.
I would even want to come to America because I don't think it's going to get any better there.
I think as long as I have a phone or just anything, I'll be tracked.
Even when you get to the toilet, even in the car, I question if I'm being watched unless it's recorded. I had a conversation in the car about the Rothschilds when I was driving. Basically explaining from the manual Rothschild and all basically the banking clan of Rothschilds.
Did anything suspicious happen in the car?
Not really. I just felt
Oh.
like I was being watched. But I feel like I'm being watched all the time. Every time I go to sleep, I cover my phone with something. Cover my phone with paper.
I mean, I put my phone
I
down.
never used to do this, but I always feel like I'm being watched. It's concerning, but the thing is, though, I probably am.
It's understandable.
Knowing the fact that they record everything you do when you're on your bank account. No offense, but when you enter your bank account on your iPad, right? My guess is they're screen recording everything. So the question is, what's stopping these people eventually when they eventually want to conquer the world? They're basically just logging into your account.
You know, man.
Nobody talks about that.
Of course, no one talks about that. I mean, like, yeah,
I'll be
honest.
That's the dark secrets nobody wants to dive into.
Here's the thing. I believe that there are rich people who don't even know that either. They probably know the truth about the world and all that stuff, but they don't really concern themselves about like what would happen if their money is useless. What would happen if their money is no longer valid? They'll just be broke.
The thing is, though,
or they do know it. And
the thing is, though, they probably have deluded themselves into thinking they're going to be part of the plan. They're going to be allowed all their money when this is over. But the question is, how many of those people are still going to be duped either way and lose everything?
I mean, I think with Tate, he has his own bank. So I mean, I think he's pretty good. I think he's good, but
anybody that has their own bank's probably fine, or basically has their own offshore accounts, or basically manages their money personally. But if you've got your money in a bank account,
man, I'm thinking of getting an offshore account. Maybe I'm not sure. Maybe I should get an offshore account. An offshore account is like having an account from a different country, right?
Yeah.
Okay, got you. I'll look more into it, or like I'll be honest, or I'll probably just get into like I don't know, probably just like do something. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna figure it out. But yeah, it's like
can't trust anybody. The thing is, I'm starting to feel like my posts have been bugged to the point where nobody sees them. Because I only got I did a post about right about is the world controlled by a shadow government? And nobody responded to it.
I'll be honest. I actually didn't see that post
on my it was on my main account, my 11 one.
I either missed it or just didn't see it in general. I don't remember seeing it.
I think my posts have been like shadow banned to the point where I can't.
I've seen some posts, but I don't think I've seen that specific post.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Elon's still being selective. They're being selective of what they let people see. So, what do you guys feel about the whole thing about him banning, basically, making people have to pay to actually use said app? It's not really. He's kind of gotten rid of the whole free speech thing, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He just wants the bag.
He's scared. That's why.
He also wants the bag.
He's probably been threatened by the WEF.
Hey,
Speech going all out the window when that Linda person went in the door. She's evil.
They're like, hey, we don't. I think at first his intent was pure, but then just he got scared.
He got scared and realized.
And frankly,
here.
And frankly, bro, if I have to pay to have an account, I'm just not gonna use the app, bro.
Yeah, don't use it.
Here's the thing. I could go out. I can go without social media anyways, bro. So like that would give me a reason. The thing is, though,
I don't really make video content anymore. And to be fair, I don't really care because I don't really make content anymore. I do like getting my opinion out there, but I can't stop making content and podcasts.
I'll be honest. I'll probably just have Telegram and Discord if I ever get rid of Instagram.
You haven't used Instagram in years. They track you too much, and they basically mark it off you. That's why I got rid of Instagram.
I really only still have it just a post about God. If I'm being honest with you, that's really the only reason why I have it. Other than that, I probably wouldn't. Oh yeah, and friends too. Other than that, I probably would have gotten rid of it.
I think Rumble is going to have I think Rumble is going to be very successful. I'm also interested with what the Daily Wire is doing, but I also realize that some of the people in the Daily Wire, right? They're biased.
Yeah.
Because one of them's founded by the Daily Wire was created by Ben Shapiro and think it was Jeremy Goodring or something like that.
I still can't believe you didn't know he was Jewish this entire
He was
time.
Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
I
Someone
didn't
said that.
either. I didn't.
Yeah, no.
I
Tommy,
just don't like the way he's too positive in Israel. Israel's not a good country. They're evil. They've committed mass atrocities. If you look out further than this month, right? The past 6 months or 2 years, right? When you look out 10, 30 years ago, right? You realize that Israel is the evil person here. They basically started. Palestine used to control that country, right? And then slowly but surely, Israel's been basically pushing them out off their own fucking country, their own turf.
I think the citizens of Israel are innocent bystanders. I don't think they have
I know
anything to do with it.
I don't blame the citizens of Israel. I blame the government, Israeli government.
Yeah.
What they've been doing to those Palestinian people. And I don't agree with the whole protest thing for Palestine, right? But even I can see that what Israel's doing is fucking wrong.
Yeah, it is.
Even the EU, at a certain extent, is calling them out on their shit. But they're still opening for like freaking humanitarian aid, but they're not condemning it. They're walking a fine line.
I think, and I also think what's really giving Palestine a bad name is that, like, Hamas or something. What are they called? It's a specific
Hamas,
group.
It's called Hamas.
Hamas is just a secret organization funded by America.
Yeah, it's just a private military government that
funded by
aims
America.
to hate against the Jews.
Funded by Americans to basically create a massive hysteria and create a massive armed conflict in America.
Got you.
Hamas is basically a government. It's probably in my bet. This is not going to be public knowledge, and it probably won't be public knowledge for the next 10, 20 years, or long before this is done. But my guess is that Hamas is working with the CIA, just like the Al Qaeda and basically Osama bin Laden before them. They were where Osama bin Laden before the thingy was. I think it was in Iran. What was it? Afghanistan, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Afghanistan, right? So yeah, before in 1980s, right? Osama bin Laden was working with the CIA to overthrow the leaders of Afghanistan, right? And then a couple of years later, they became the leaders of Afghanistan. Osama bin Laden became the rulers of Afghanistan, right? And a couple of years later, the CIA in America wanted to wipe their hands of this little. How would we say it? Exercise, Black Ops exercise. So they then turned their guns on Osama bin Laden, claimed to be a terrorist. 9/11 was all was a cover-up. And 9/11 was basically something that happened inside the CIA, was an inside CIA Israeli job. And this was used to destabilize the Middle East. So big companies like BP, Chevron, ExxonMobil could profit off the Middle East in the Persian Gulf. And also basically stir the pot with Israel, Palestine, and all these other countries in Kuwait and Qatar and Saudi Arabia. All these, basically, it was good to create. It was used to create profits with oil, and also stir the pot with, the Islamic countries, and also paint out Muslims as terrorists.
I kind of think that's what they're
trying
to do.
I feel like that is why they're trying that, and they're trying to scare people like that again, saying, "Oh, we should be scared of these Muslims that are in our country." And they're trying to paint the everyday populace as terrorists and evil when they're just innocent people trying to live their lives. And they're scared too.
If that was us, we wouldn't have it. None of us would.
I think the British people would do nothing. They don't even realize they're oppressed, Jamie. They work and they work and they work, scrounging for a paycheck and then basically looking for solace. I'm surprised, if I'm being honest, I'm surprised the public hasn't revolted like the fucking French. I'm really surprised.
Yeah.
You guys still hear me?
They haven't.
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay, got you. Sorry, I clicked on the video and I was, I forgot I was on here for a minute.
But
Fair
yeah,
enough.
the whole Islam, the whole thing with Hamas, it won't come out for years, but Hamas, my suspicions are that it's either being funded, it's probably being funded by the Rothschilds in part of ways, and it's probably also been funded, but it's probably being funded by the Rothschilds or very powerful rich families. But the CIA is controlling them, basically giving the orders to these guys. But they're getting it further up from
Man,
very powerful elite families.
man, I really don't know how I would feel if I passed a Rothschild in like New York. I probably won't even know that they're Rothschild.
I don't think the Rothschilds are in New York, but I know they're in London.
Oh.
I know they're in Germany. I know they're in France.
The state of New York is atrocious. Why would they ever go near there, given the circumstances?
Yeah.
Did you realize that George Soros had a hand in hand in that, right? And George Soros' fund was funded by the Rothschilds.
Yeah, New York.
And George Soros' mentor was Henry Kissinger. Henry Kissinger was J.P. Morgan's, and J.P. Morgan's was the Rothschilds.
I'm not
So
gonna.
the links.
New York used to be so
Central
cool. Now it's just, I mean, New York
A
City.
shell of his former self.
It is. I'll be honest. I would probably just move out of the city. I probably wouldn't even move out of New York. I would just get out of the city. Go to
Again, I've stated it multiple times. The city of New York and its close boroughs should be its own fucking state. And I think we should create I think the boroughs outside of the city should be their own freaking state.
That actually makes sense. Actually,
Let New York and its fucking boroughs become its own state, and build up the infrastructure on the other side of New York. Because there's no reason why the outside of New York can't be a manufacturing hub.
yeah, because I'm not.
It can't be a massive hub for other resources.
I'm not gonna lie, because when you think of
or they merge with another state.
When you think of New York, you immediately think of the city. You don't really think of like suburbs.
That's what you think, but nobody talks about the suburbs of the other side of New York.
Yeah, that's the part I'd probably move to.
Here's what I'd do as well. I'd also split California up as well.
Okay.
I'd split California up into two states, to two more states. So everything from Silicon Valley and the Cupertino, Silicon Valley, right? I would make that its own state, and I'd call that state San Francisco. San Francisco is its own state, ain't it?
San Francisco?
Yeah. Well,
I think San Francisco is a city in California.
I would make San Francisco the hub of that the main capital of that new state. And I'd have San Francisco.
Sense, yeah.
I'd have San Francisco as its own capital, its own state, and I'd also have its close neighboring boroughs. And I would also include I'd also make Cupertino its own state as well. I'd make Malibu and its current neighborhoods its own separate state, and I'd make Cupertino its own. No, I'd make Malibu and its close neighborhoods its own state, and I'd make Hollywood and its close neighbors, and I think I'd make Cupertino a part of San Francisco. So Cupertino, UC Berkeley, Malibu, they can be their own little states. And Hollywood LA can be its own thingy. I think California needs to be split up into multiple states. Whether that would be good for California is questionable, but it could be a good start. You guys still there?
Yeah, I'm still there.
Yep, still here.
So what other states do you guys think should be split up into multiple? I would also be willing to separate Houston from Texas.
I was thinking of a Texas split up myself.
Separate Houston and some of its neighboring boroughs, or everything that's close to Houston. I would separate keep Texas its own state and make Houston its own state as well. Simply because I think if it's not curved, Houston will become Houston. I think if it's not curved, Texas will become a Democrat state, and I don't want Texas to be ruined like that. That's the short thing. Too many left-leaning Californians have moved to Texas, to Houston, and it's making the country, that state, let's say, more liberal. What else? So what else is there?
Well, back to the whole, lock down our houses. in terms of our masks to protect from the virus,
Which didn't.
why were we given like a surgical face mask as opposed to like the same kind of mask you would wear if you were entering a house on fire for smoke to protect your breathing from smoking, or a radioactive mask? Why didn't we have those masks? And instead we've just given a surgical mask to protect from the virus,
My
like the deadliest virus in the world, allegedly.
making our oxygen intake a lot worse and create massive impairments to kids' oxygen levels. And my guess is that we're probably laced with some type of thing that would automatically kill you. I think they wanted us to infuse our own and basically inhale our own like body odors. Basically, that would basically slowly but steadily probably kill us. That's my guess anyway. They were wanting us to use our own body functions to basically kill us.
Well, it didn't work.
How do we know? Nobody knows the mass side effects that wearing masks have had on our oxygen intake and inhaling technique or basically what it's done to kids. The long-term side effects of wearing masks have still not been fully received. We're just about to hear the results of basically a COVID inquiry in Scotland. But the thing is, though, I don't think I'm going to hear anything I'm really not going to do, but it's really going to be entertaining because, quite honestly, I think they're going to give us some freaking lie, some bloody lie, saying, "Oh, everything is fine," and they're not going to explain the fact that those viruses basically they lied to us. They gave us a experimental vaccine that was created by the military, and it was they fed us a bioweapon that potentially is used to, I don't know, ethnically target a certain type of race. Certain people finally admitted is that the COVID-19 vaccine was a bioweapon. I think it was Sweden or one of them, but
Actually, I had one of my guests on the Iloni show, and she said that before it even became public knowledge, the children of my podcast guest, they had what is allegedly COVID before it even got out from China. So if you think about it, it kind of got started in the US. Then it went down to China where it was stored, allegedly, and then the rest, they say, is history from 2019, 2020, so on.
Nobody talks about it, but Americans had a big effort in funding said COVID-19 vaccine. Nobody talks about it, but Fauci was funding gain of function research in China, in Wuhan. So illegal that even Fauci was doing things so illegally in Ukraine, right? Nobody talks about it, but a lot of the bioweapon stuff, right, was happening in Ukraine. Why else do you think Russia was invading Ukraine? Because they wanted to expose the bioweapons. We all know Fauci he's an evil man and he was creating like bioweapons, right? Some of the worst ones were in Ukraine, and some of the worst ones were in China. They wanted to move it outside of America, right? Because they realized they were scared. Because basically, if they created bioweapons, they realized creating bioweapons is a hangable offense by the EU, in a national court, the national courts. But the Republicans and Democrats jointly made a bill, I think a couple of years earlier in the early 2000s, that basically made it basically impossible for them to basically blame people for creating bioweapons. Basically giving them no freaking harm. Basically rewriting a bill to basically say, oh, we can't charge. We're not able to charge people for creating bioweapons. Because I think the military wanted to create bioweapons that could target certain people for military like purposes. Have you ever heard of Project
Bluebeam?
Have you ever heard? We can dive into that one later. But have you ever heard of Project MK Ultra?
MK Ultra.
I've heard of it.
No, I've never heard of that.
I've heard of it slightly.
So you've never heard of the Century of Love, right?
No.
Unfortunately, no, I have not heard of that.
Yeah, me neither.
So basically, you remember in the 60s, right?
Oh, the 60s. I remember those days.
Yeah.
Yeah, 60s. Basically, they're using mind control experiments. Basically, the cult movements, right? Basically, mind control, MK Ultra. This was like a CIA experiment, right? And this is before they started using this in movies, and like trying to basically brainwash kids at early ages. MK Ultra is research carried on from during the wars of the Nazis, right? We're in World War II, right? With the Nazis. You guys remember Operation Paperclip, right?
Silence is futile.
Wait, hold on. What did you say, Risk?
You guys remember Operation Paperclip?
I have never heard of that.
Me
That's
neither.
the operation that allows you to basically. That operation was basically remember when they took. Basically, Operation Paperclip allowed basically. You know, after World War II was done and the Allies won, apparently, supposedly, right?
Mhm.
America took all the scientists from Germany and that, and took most of them and put them in NASA, put them in FBI, CIA.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that. The German
That's Operation
scientists after
Paperclip.
World War they came over the US to help
Because
with their
they were feared
projects.
that all the Russians would take some of these guys, right? And then after, nobody talks about this after, but after the Soviet Union, right? I'm guessing the UK and Europe and America took the rest of the rest of the Jews, not the Jews, but the rest of the freaking massive Nazi scientists. They probably got a lot of the scientists from Egypt as well, because a lot of the scientists went to Egypt as well after World War II. But yeah, let's dive into Operation Bluebeam, well, Project Bluebeam.
Well, I've scrolled on social media that the supposed Project Bluebeam has been sighted in parts of the Gaza Strip.
Project
either-
Bluebeam.
Yeah, there are sightings of
Bluebeam's
that
being
from in the
used
Gaza
in
Strip by
Gaza.
either Palestinians or Israelis. They've seen what is Project Bluebeam around that area apparently.
So
Well,
what
that's
were
interesting.
What were they seeing with Project Bluebeam?
Well, from what I've seen, they said that there was like an angel flying from above. But when I saw that, all I thought was, "Nice editing, bro." That's the comment I would leave on those videos because clearly those parts were edited, but the reactions were absolutely real. It's just the editing part is just amplified and make it trying to throw us off the track.
I think,
kind of.
and they were also trying to basically the Congress was talking about aliens, right? So they're basically setting up Project Bluebeam.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Project Bluebeam. They're going to use they're going to create alien. They're going to create some type of subspecies aliens, right? This is probably explaining where all the 8 million children go a year, right? They just disappear. They're going to use these supposed aliens to basically convince the world to create a one world government and give, Klaus full reign.
Oh yes, our boy Klaus.
Oh, I hate him. I hate that man.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Did you know about? Can't remember what operation it was or project it was, but there was a project that basically created a gun, basically a weapon that can basically seem like you basically shoot you, but make it seem like you're having a heart attack.
I've heard something like it before.
There's a gun like that out there that the military created. Yeah. Project Zomboid.
Zomboid? That's interesting. So, Eric, any updates on your language to spread the message?
Project.
Must have disconnected somehow. Oh, he'll be back.
Yeah. So what else is there? Dive into.
So much.
Supermarkets.
Mercado. Oh yeah, there was this message. I saw a video on YouTube about one of a player for a football club in the US, Inter Miami. He got fired for criticizing the GOAT. Now, even though what he says is true, the higher ups was like, "No, we're not having it. Out you go." Like, how can
Talk
you get
about
sacked
fucking,
for
but
speaking the
that's almost
truth?
as bad as the guy. I can't remember the guy. There's a guy that got fired from Apple for basically criticizing China.
I mean, he does have a point actually. Like, that club is not ready for a player of his stature. He's just has too big of a fan base, given how good he was over the years, allegedly. But hey, it is what it is.
So
I
what
just
is
go
it?
with
So you're
it.
basically saying that the club's not ready for all this fame.
Yeah, like this club is part of a franchise league that hasn't been that just started in the 90s, similar to the English Premier League. But the thing is, they didn't have as much of a commercial success like the English Premier League. They had to start from scratch, and they had to fold some clubs because they weren't making enough money to keep them going. But given his arrival to Inter Miami, ticket prices for Inter Miami matches have skyrocketed like crazy. Like
But the
none of
thing
the
is, though, how
homegrown
much of
fans
that is
can afford
actually
it.
sustainable, and how much will that last? Because let's be real here, it's going to be like the Pokemon Go craze, right? People are going to want it to be cool, interested in it for a couple months, right? And then once everything's all done, once the money stops coming in, it'll all everything will crash and burn. But nobody talks about the fact, oh, it's good when you're getting the sales right, but it's almost as bad as it being a. It's like, take it for example, right now, right? Let's say I'm Charlie D'Amelio, right? For example, let's say this for example, right? Let's say I'm Charlie D'Amelio, right? I had a rapid rise on TikTok, right? And then after a couple months, right? After a couple 1 to 2 years, right? I made all this money, right? And I spent all of it because I was thinking, oh, this is going to be last forever, right? And then literally a couple months later, a couple of years later, you realize I've got no money left because I spent all my money thinking it's all going to come away. She had to expect that this career is going to last forever. And let's be real here.
Yeah.
When you rise instantly out of nowhere, traditionally it's always started with, oh, you make a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
But then you become irrelevant. Nobody watches you.
Yeah.
There's been a few people that have actually survived that. Most YouTubers, right now, I would not want to be a YouTuber that basically rose off a fucking trend, right? Because unless you're able to adapt, you're going to end up being a nobody, and very few can adapt. Like a lot of these Fortnite YouTubers, right, that profited off the Fortnite craze, right, or the Fallout craze, or the Call of Duty craze, right? Nobody knows who the fuck they are anymore. They're irrelevant. Or how about the people, those TikTokers that propagated off the trends, doing those trends on TikTok, right? Nobody knows who they are. Like this fat guy that used to be invited to all the events, right, on TikTok, from TikTok, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows who he is. He's irrelevant. He gets a couple 100K views, maybe max. But he started off with 800 followers. His channel's dead. Makes revenue, makes a decent amount of revenue, makes money, but his career's over and he's never going to get invited to major events. But it's the thing. You become famous. I would rather have a long career, getting 0 views, or by starting off a long term, build an audience over time, than someone that got big off of trends. Because you're guaranteed to get fucked over. And I suggest anybody that ever does get popular off trends, invest, diversify your assets, and finding ways to make money, because it's not going to last forever. And you might be able to delude yourself into thinking, oh, but that happened to someone else, but that might not happen to me. It will almost certainly happen to you. But yeah.
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 Yeah. That's crazy.
Trends and social media. I don't know. I used to care about creating videos, but now I'm not I don't really care. I would rather be in the private eye. Realize not being seen is probably better. But yeah. I've also realized this: unless you're willing to compromise your morals you're never going to get big. Because guys like YouTube, companies like YouTube won't promote you unless you're willing to follow the trends. Definitely, if you criticize the government and criticize the world like I do, there's no way in heck I'm getting big off Twitter. There's no way. I'm too critical of them. Anything else you want to say, or do you want to wrap it up here?
Oh, there is one thing I'd
Okay.
like to say.
Let's do it
Let's
then.
find it. The raw milk. You heard about that?
What do you mean?
Well, government officials have been coming to local farms and confiscating the raw milk they've produced because something
Something to do with
planet
climate.
saves the planet something
So
veganism
basically,
kind of.
and is this happening in the UK?
No, this is a US thing.
Okay. Italy becomes the first to ban Bill Gates' fake meat due to serious health concerns.
Well, it's close, but I think the thing is, I don't think government officials like when people are producing their own natural, natural-esque products that has all the nutrients that anyone could ever ask for. The government would like it if they made their own and something they approve of that has a fraction of the nutrients. Like, there's not enough nutrients to give us the vitamins or nutrition that we need to survive. It's like as if they want us to be weakened, so weak to the point that we don't have the strength to overpower the people in power. You know, that's at least the message behind the raw milk and all its nutrients. In fact, everything that is grown organically and naturally has all the nutrients
People
that we
say
could ever need.
organic is good, but it's not. It's kind of probably worse for you. It's got so much chemicals in it. Nobody talks about it.
Yeah, that's the point I'm making. Like, they intentionally put some kind of chemicals in the food that strips them out of its nutrients, but yeah, keeps the flavor as if nothing ever happened. It's all good. It's good for you. Is it good for you? We'll never know. That's just me. We'll never know unless it's too late. But yeah, that's mad.
Yeah. Who the fuck's Tom Emmer, and why are they never wanting Jim Gordon as governor?
That's the first I've heard of it.
When do you think we're going to see Donald Trump back in office?
Well, based off how the odds are going, I don't think we have to wait long. Even if people saying we don't want Trump back, he's awful, he's racist, there is a chance actually.
We need him back.
Yeah, there's actually a chance now.
I'm not sure if I'm ready for it. He's one of the only bastards that'll stop us from entering World War fucking III. Because nobody benefits in World War III, apart from the freaking globalists. Think maybe me. Maybe the only people that are going to benefit from WW3 are maybe you and me, maybe Eric and maybe Faithy in certain instances. Because Faithy will benefit from the food shortages. Will benefit all from this.
Yes, because you're playing the game. You're benefiting of the struggles of the people.
Poor. Benefiting off the poor.
It is sad, but yet genius at the same time.
I own the house company. I own a British house building company, Barrett Developments. I own Vodafone, all the streaming platforms, all the fast food,
the supermarkets,
the people that provide the drugs,
and the farming industries.
But basically, the profit of the farming industries.
And the fashion brands.
I was contemplating on buying to Bayer.
I never heard of them.
Ever heard of Monsanto?
That's the first I've heard of them.
Oh, you haven't looked deep enough then. Monsanto
Fair
control
enough, fair
about
enough.
90%. Monsanto control 90% or near monopoly on the agricultural sector in America.
That's bad.
And Bayer, they control control a lot of it. It's a very powerful company in the pharmaceutical industry.
Mm,
So
interesting.
agriculture and pharma. The thing is, though, Bayer, back in the day, they worked with the Nazis. But so did so many other companies I own. Walt Disney, Paramount, cruise industry, gold, banking, supermarkets, carpet retailers. If you get a carpet in America, I'm probably profiting you in some way or form.
Hmm.
If you buy a
Interesting.
house in America, I'm profiting off you in some way or form. In the build, well, if you buy a new build house in America, there's a very high chance I'm probably profiting off you, because
Yeah.
Berkshire Hathaway owns a shitload of property, real estate, and also building companies. I like Japan. Faith owns shares in Nintendo.
Hmm.
I own Microsoft and Sony
Swag.
and China.
Yeah.
How much do you make?
Oh, you're back.
We're
Yeah.
back. Didn't think
Yeah,
you
no.
would.
Yeah, no, I've been here the entire time. I was just listening to you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, cool. So I was wanting to know, Eric, what is your updates on languages to spread the message?
What is my what?
Language updates.
I have not learned a thing.
Oh, no progress since the last time.
Yeah.
Okay, it's all right. It happens.
I think monopolies are fun.
Yeah.
Movie industry is not about entertaining people. It's about keeping the propaganda.
And convince people everything's all right, even it's not all right.
I
It's
own
all
the
good. We're all living in a fantasy land.
I own the propaganda companies that create propaganda.
That's mad.
I own
That is crazy.
CNN, ABC,
Yowza.
CNBC. Disney. I don't think Disney's doing as well as it should be, but I think Disney will get its way through.
Yeah.
I'm on Disney for the long term because I personally believe it's getting acquired by Apple.
Yeah.
The whole
Even
reason why I'm in the movie industry is because I honestly do believe it's an acquisition. It's going to be an acquisition heaven. I'm going to be getting acquired my shares. I'm going to be getting the company's going to get acquired, and there'll be mass consolidation in the media industry. It just means I get a payout. I'm hoping to get a payout out of the movie industry. I think you're probably going to get a decent payout with Warner Bros. Because I personally believe in the next coming years they're going to get sold to Comcast for a couple billion. But yeah. So, any new stocks that you bought lately?
I have not been looking into the stocks in a while. I'm still like reinvesting like current existing investments and using whatever spare change I have and putting into like staking and liquidity mining. Those are doing pretty well. I'm earning about like $2 each day from that, and it's going up like 15% annually.
It's not bad. Minimum, I'm probably earning about $1 or £2 a month or something like that. Minimum. Sometimes more, sometimes less, but minimum, I'm probably earning more than £2 a month, just off dividends. I think I'm sitting on about 80 companies or something like that. I don't believe that the metaverse will take off. I honestly don't want to invest in Facebook
Yeah,
or
they're
Meta.
down in the mud.
I honestly want nothing to do with Meta, but I can see why it's an interesting company. I like supermarkets because people say, "Oh, supermarkets are dead, they're useless, they're going away."
But where are you going to get your food?
Exactly. Exactly.
Bruh, that's just mad.
Then you might be able to get it from an online delivery platform, but that's going to take fucking decades to fucking develop.
Yeah.
Like people say, "Oh, Walmart is." Well, people say, "Oh, Walmart is going to probably get." My guess is, I think Walmart's probably going to get acquired. And you might think this is a weird acquisition, but I'm not saying it'll happen anytime soon. But I'm saying
It's
I think
possible.
Walmart is going to be acquired by Amazon.
Sorry, my bad. Someone called me.
It's
That's
cool.
fine.
All right.
Again, I think Walmart is going to get acquired by Amazon. I don't think it'll happen anytime soon.
But it's possible.
Oh, but
I think it will happen, but I think it won't happen until Kroger becomes becoming the top 3 player. And I'm guessing.
but yeah, about the language thing, I'd be more concerned about understanding what other people are saying more than me learning it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Anyways, we were talking about Walmart owning Amazon owning
I think
Walmart.
Amazon's going to buy Walmart at some point.
I can probably see that happening, just not now.
Their businesses are becoming more and more similar. Walmart is getting into the online business, and Amazon's getting into the retail space. They already own Whole Foods. Maybe they end up spinning Whole Foods out to be a separate company, and they take Walmart, and they for regulatory reasons they take Walmart as they buy Walmart, but they have to spin off Whole Foods as a separate company to keep competition regulations. Or maybe they have to but I do think it could happen. I can also see. I think it would be interesting if Oscar Mayer and Intel were to merge into one company. But people would have said, I never thought the Activision Blizzard deal would go through, right? But it did. And that poses questions for bigger mergers. If Activision Blizzard could go through, what's stopping Microsoft from acquiring Netflix? Or I don't know, maybe Nintendo. Or Disney being acquired by someone else. Do you think streaming's getting better or is it getting more expensive?
Mainly the last one.
More expensive, okay.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know. Has there been any good streaming shows lately? Like at all?
Like what?
I think Loki's quite an interesting series. I've been watching it lately.
Oh yeah, speaking of which, I heard
Upload's got a new season, and what was it? Gen V. I wasn't sure about it at first, but I'm actually quite liking it.
I'll be honest. I heard. Wait, you said Gen Me?
Gen V. It's an Amazon Prime exclusive.
Got you.
It's a spin-off of the Boys show.
The Boys show.
Yeah, it's a superhero show.
Yeah. I can see why it's called The Boys Show now. It's a superhero show. I'll be honest. I really don't know what to watch. I was thinking of just watching old shows that I've heard of before but never watched, never gave a chance.
You have Hulu, don't you?
Well, I do, but I'm on my sister's account, but I don't really watch it that often.
Futurama's got a new season. It was not bad. What else?
Did the new season of Rick and Morty come out yet?
New episodes of it are out, but I'm guessing I'm not 100%. It might be on HBO Max, but I'm not 100% sure.
Well, I'll be.
I don't even know if Paramount's still a good streaming service.
I
think they offer content.
They probably have some good shows. I think they recently canceled iCarly.
Yeah. Like, why would they do that?
I don't know.
Maybe viewership.
Dang, they really left it on a cliffhanger too.
Yeah.
Maybe
we'll never know.
Here's the thing. Paramount's always interested in doing specials, right?
Yes.
What if they finished it off with a 1 hour TV special?
Huh.
Next
I guess that's possible.
Of iCarly.
Yeah, why not? They've already did it. They do specials on that, like for fucking South Park.
That's true.
They did
Yeah.
one about they're doing one about taking absolute piss out of the woke culture, of the woke mob. Matt Stone and Trey Parker are doing a net South Park special called The Panderverse, taking a right rip at all these people that basically plead diversity. And the last episode that they did about Meghan Markle and them, right? That fucking ripped them. A new one. I can't wait to see what they do to this one. The thing is, though, Paramount is so great. Like it's got so many great shows. It's got South Park. It's got Star Trek. It's got Top Gun Maverick. What else has it got? I think it's got the licensing rights to Peppa Pig. It's got Transformers. I personally think Paramount should acquire Lionsgate.
Yes, I agree. That will be a massive collaboration. They will
acquire
dominate the media,
right? They
streaming
freaking
media.
get.
Oh,
If they acquire Lionsgate, they get the rights to Hunger Games.
Speaking of which,
Oh,
I
yes.
heard the third season.
Not to mention freaking John Wick.
Oh, speaking of which, I heard Invincible's coming out like next month, November 3rd.
Season.
Yeah, new season. Yeah, new season.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well, they had a special. They had an Amazon special for Invincible.
Yeah, season 2, man. I can't wait to watch it.
Season 2 is already out. I think it's season 3 now, ain't it?
No, season 1 is out. Season 2 isn't out. They took very long for season 2 to come out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I think they're also making season 2 of Peacemaker too. I don't know when it's gonna come out, but
that's a DC show, ain't it?
Yeah, it's a DC show with John Cena in it. It's actually a really good show. It was funny.
It's good. I think Comcast is gonna get Comcast is gonna buy out Warner Bros. They're gonna get Back to the Future. They're gonna get The Matrix. They're gonna get Harry Potter.
What if they made a modern day Matrix?
They already did. It didn't do well.
Oh,
the Matrix
Revolution.
I think it was Resurrection or something like that.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're definitely right. They didn't do well.
I actually thought I was hoping they would do another one, but they didn't do well. I think they realized it didn't do well, so they decided against it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Wasn't the Morpheus shorter than in that movie?
Fishburne wasn't even in the movie. It was some other guy playing it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Then they had cameo scenes of actual Morpheus in it, but from former films. But
yeah,
it's a shame. They should have gotten it. I don't think they should have done it unless they got the full cast.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying wasn't the other guy shorter?
Yes. They've got it.
Yeah, they probably should. Yeah, they probably should have gotten the original cast back together.
I don't even think they actually got the original freaking. I think Morpheus was I think Keanu was one of the only characters that came back, apart from maybe some side characters. Because I don't think Trinity actually came back. It was some other actor playing her.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But you're trying to give new actors a chance.
Then create new fucking franchises. Don't wreck a franchise. I hear they're trying to freaking wokenize them, trying to make James Bond for a modern audience.
Oh yeah, right. You said James Bond was going to be a woman now, a black woman.
I think they're trying to do that.
Eh.
They're also. Did you hear about the Daily Wire and Snow White?
I thought James Bond was going to be a black man, but all right.
I still don't get why they'd want that. See, as well, it's been played as a freaking white man for the better.
I mean,
century.
just make
There's
it.
no offense. How racist would it be if we were to freaking place?
It's like, bro, just make a new hero. That's it.
Again, let's say we were to place Tyrese Gibson or Tyrese Gibson in Fast and Furious and made him white. How ridiculous would that be?
Extremely.
It would be ridiculous. Or we were to make John Cena and Peacemaker, but it wouldn't make sense.
I mean, wait, were you
I
about
actually
to...
think I think Loki season 2 is actually quite interesting.
Oh,
A
you were
lot
gonna...
better than I thought it would be. It might. I don't think it's going to save them, but it's not doing too bad.
Wait, you were saying something about Snow White?
Yeah, Daily Wire's making a Snow White retelling. It's
Yeah.
starring Brett Cooper.
Nice.
Wait, a retelling? What do you mean?
They're making a Snow White
A
movie,
remake of Snow White. That
but they're
isn't
not doing
Disney.
it. They're on the Grimm's brothers like tale. So the people actually made Snow White because Disney didn't make it. They just ripped off some type of like freaking fairy tale book.
Oh, okay. So they're gonna make... So the Daily Wire is gonna make it better.
Basically, they're going to make one, and it's going to be coming out in the same year as freaking the actual Snow White one.
Ah, got you. So it's not gonna be all woke up.
It's not. No, they're trying to follow it as close to the script as possible, or follow as close to the books as possible.
They better.
They instead of having short hair, they're going to have long black hair.
Nice.
Have long black hair.
Nice. I'll be honest. I don't have a problem with women having like short hair, but like I'll be honest. I've been kind of leaning past like women being bald. I don't know why. I used to think that's
Why?
I said leaning past.
What?
No, I said leaning past.
Why would you want them bald?
No, Risk. I said leaning. No, Risk. I said leaning past. Like meaning I don't like that anymore.
Oh, okay. Good.
Yeah, no.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, no. Now I don't want my woman to be bald. It's like I don't know. If one person's gonna be bald in the house, it's gonna be me if I go bald. I don't want them bald, bro. I just don't find bald women attractive anymore.
90 to 80% of women that go bald are either a lesbian or a very masculine man, a masculine woman.
Yeah, that's why. Just let her hair either be long. Actually, let her hair be long, or just at least long enough for people to recognize that she's a girl.
Daily Wire is also making like a kids streaming servant streaming service for basically showing like kids cartoons and that as well.
Nice. I might get my kids to watch
Supposedly
that.
they're going to have like conservative like TV shows, like basically stuff that you'd be happy to, and they're also going to be curating content from around the world as well.
That's interesting.
Also,
Basically, I think they're trying to compete. I think they're trying to bet the bank like what Walt Disney did back in the day, and they're going to turn. I think they're hoping if it turns to success, they're going to try and compete against Disney as a big studio.
yeah, I don't know, because
About time.
Disney just isn't cutting it anymore, man.
Disney doesn't have the
There's
fucking
not enough
finances.
competition.
They're bloody broke. People say, "Oh, Disney's flush with fucking cash." No, they're not.
Now
Have
imagine
you seen the amount of freaking L's they've been taking, the amount of money these bastards have been spending on movies?
I mean, hey
They're
man.
broke.
I mean,
They
hey
said,
man.
"Oh," and even their freaking presentation, they said, "Oh, we're gonna spend some money someday." Like they're broke.
I mean, hey man. Imagine
They've
if
still got they've got money right now, but they're gonna have to spend. They're gonna have to fork out about at least 10, God knows how much for Hulu.
imagine wanting to be a Disney Channel actor in 2023.
I won't be. Disney Channel actors don't exist anymore. It's only you're a Disney Channel streamer. That actors. The Disney Channel doesn't exist. It went away years ago.
I'll be honest, like when we were younger, back then my sister applied to be a Disney actor, and I think she did get accepted, except we couldn't travel there.
I don't think they've got the. I honestly don't think they have the. I don't think Cartoon Network even have their own Cartoon Network thing anymore. They deleted their Cartoon Network YouTube channel.
Wait, they did?
Yeah.
Oh shoot! I didn't even know that.
I took a look because I was bored. I wanted to see if they did.
Dang. Bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Cartoon Network, it used to be so good.
It was the GOAT.
Exactly. Now it's just a former. It's just a show of its former self.
Exactly.
What I would like for I can't wait to see some of these big streaming services acquire some of the massive anime rights to like some of these massive anime. I'd love for like freaking Paramount or Google or Paramount or like freaking Prime Video, and that to acquire the rights to like freaking One Piece
Oh,
or like
I heard.
freaking Death Note and all these big animes, like My Hero
Oh.
Academia.
Speaking of Cartoon Network, I heard Adult Swim is doing good with their whole thing called Checkered Past, where they pretty much show old cartoons and all that stuff. I heard they're doing well.
I thought Adult Swim was basically just chucked into Max,
Uh,
or is it its own separate thing?
I'm pretty sure it's part of Cartoon Network. I'm pretty sure it's a part of Cartoon Network in a way. You know, it's pretty much chucked in with Cartoon Network, except just for the.
Is that its own streaming service, or is it just combined into like? Is that a subdivision of
I'm pretty sure
subdivision of Cartoon Network, but
I'm pretty
creating
sure
content for the streaming service?
I'm pretty sure Adult Swim has their own app. I'm just not really sure if they update it or not.
To me, I would say, why not centralize all? I came up with this idea, right? What how Sony has this massive catalog of movies, right? TV shows, right? And like music, right? And they own they have a monopoly in the freaking anime industry, right? In America, in the Western Hemisphere. What if they were to merge gaming, movies, music, TV shows in one app and anime in one app? And create the freaking super app where you pay a monthly fee, you get access to all of Sony's catalog of music, get access to all of Sony's like TV shows and movies, and you get access to all of Crunchyroll's anime and thingy. That would be the biggest That would be the biggest media offering you could get.
Yeah.
And it would also compete against. It would also basically demolish Game Pass. Because not only would you get access to all of Sony's in-person titles, because Sony's a massive game publisher, and they own a lot of developers, though. I think they should add the thing is, Crunchyroll has potential to become like a massive streamer. It could become a massive streamer. All it has to do is upload all of Sony's content, right? Or most of its Sony's content onto Crunchyroll. And they allow them to play those games. But yeah, anything else you want to dive into? Is that us?
I think that is all. We have said more than enough for now. Until next time, I guess.
Bye.
Peace. Last one in here. I have the room to myself.